Hello, I'm Cindy Arenberg Seltzer, President and CEO of the Children's Services Council of Broward County. Welcome to another edition of Future First, Focus on Broward's Children. On a recent episode of our show, we discussed how Broward County has joined the National Campaign for Grade Level Reading to promote that all children will be able to read on grade level by third grade and be able to succeed academically and in life. In that episode, we featured an online tutoring program being implemented by the State Attorney's Office. As we continue this campaign, we will bring you more information on different approaches being implemented to ensure that our young students can succeed. In this episode, we want to explore other ways in which the community is enhancing grade-level reading efforts, including some out-of-the-box approaches that are truly noteworthy. Joining me today are Courtney Trzcinski, Director of Program Support with Canine Assisted Therapy, Dr. Adam Cherry, a board-certified optometrist who runs the mobile eye clinic Seeing the World, Dr. Nicole Mancini, Director of Head Start and Early Intervention with Broward County Public Schools, and Dr. Lori Canning, Director of Early Learning and School Readiness with the Broward County Public Schools. Later, we will accompany a school board staff member as she works with a family whose first language is not English, to help them ensure that their child has the same learning opportunities as all other children in Broward County. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
I want to start with you, Lori, because you've really been a champion for the grade level reading campaign. So I want you to talk a little bit about what that is and what it means to Broward County and our young people.
I am proud to be here as a member of that Broward campaign for grade level reading. And I'm proud to also say that we've had a great kickoff, really mobilizing the community with people from all different sectors coming together to really face that challenge of what can we do as Broward as a whole to really make sure that all children are reading proficiently by third grade. Because as you know, that is the #1 indicator, if children are reading proficiently by third grade, of their chances for a successful graduation, successful college or careers, and success in life. So what can we do as a community to come together? And so far, we've had, again, representatives from all different sectors coming together to really discuss, mobilize us together, identify possible gaps that we have, and implement initiatives.
It's funny, when I first heard about this campaign for grade level reading that the Annie E. Casey Foundation was launching, I thought, yeah, you know, we have so many literacy efforts here already. Why do we need this campaign? And I think what it really does is bring together all of those disparate activities so that we can do, as you said, you know, let's look at what are all the things that are going on now and where are those holes, and let's see how we can fill them. Today, we have some examples of some of those creative things that could kind of get lost in the shuffle if you're not paying attention. I want to start, if I can, with the canine assisted reading, because I think no one, well, maybe not no one, but that would not be the first thing that people would think about. What do the dogs have to do with reading?
Well, the dogs are there to help the children improve their self-confidence, their self-esteem, and they're non-judgmental. So we see that when the child is sitting and reading to the dog does not laugh if they make a mistake. The dog does not judge or criticize. And over time, they build up the reading skills and they have gained self-confidence, they are making less mistakes, and then it kind of transpires into the classroom. They find that the children that have read to the dogs now are more motivated in the classroom, and they make greater gains from doing that.
How does it work? How do they read to the dogs?
Well, the dogs, first of all, not every dog has the right temperament to work with children. So we do an advanced evaluation to make sure that the dogs have the right temperament and personality to be matched with children. And then these teams are deployed into Broward County schools, and they work primarily in small groups of 3, and they each get one-on-one time. So one dog will be working with 3 children, and it's kind of a collaborative effort. The teacher and the reading specialists have identified the children that are not reading at grade level. And so these children are then sent to read with the dogs. And they get to practice reading a book out loud, and they slowly gain more and more confidence.
Nice. So if there's somebody out there who has a dog that they think and they'd like to volunteer, do they contact you for that evaluation?
Definitely. There is a lot that goes into becoming a certified therapy team. We are one of the few organizations in the country that do a level 2 background screening on all of our volunteers, as well as a separate advanced evaluation to work with children. So if you have a pet and you'd like to give back to your community and volunteer with your dog, the first step is you must attend a new volunteer orientation, and then your dog has to pass what's called the Canine Good Citizen test. And this is a basic obedience test of 10 commands. So there is some training involved, and then once the dog passes that test, you would go to a pet therapy evaluation, where we put the dog through all kinds of little tests and commands to make sure it has the right personality to do therapy work.
Do you find any particular dogs are more suited to this than others?
Well, we have a lot of Labrador retrievers and a lot of golden retrievers, but really we have dogs from a small little toy poodle all the way up to one of our founding dogs, Dylan. He's a Leonberger, 150 pounds.
Wow.
So really it's not a specific dog breed. All breeds make good therapy dogs.
How interesting. And of course, one of the foundational things is to be able to see, although of course there are other ways, Braille and so on. We don't want to leave anybody out of the reading, that opportunity to read, but still there are correctable eyesight issues that may be barriers to reading. And Dr. Cherry, I think that's your passion, correct?
Thank you. Yes, that's a very good point. And a lot of people have the misconception about seeing and vision, because children are born and they don't know what good vision is. You're born into this world and you see a certain way. And how would you know it's clear or unclear if you've never seen clear, so to speak? And so that's why it's important that children at a young age do get a thorough eye exam starting at age 3. 3 to 5 are critical years. If you don't catch a child who may have vision problems, whether it's an eye alignment issue or decreased vision or even type of pathology or disease inside the eyes, then they're going to miss their critical ages, and the eyes may not develop properly. So getting a thorough eye exam is very important. And we have a charity.
So whether or not you have any reason to suspect a problem, just routinely that should be part of your child's annual physical?
Yes, agreed. And a lot of pediatricians do a well baby checkup or well child checkup, and they include the vision screening component as part of that. But this is very important, that when they do a vision screening, just because a child can see the letters on the chart doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have a vision problem. And so that creates a lot of false positives in that the parent thinks that they passed, but they really have a problem, and then they don't take them for an eye examination. So it is important that they see a board-certified optometrist or ophthalmologist to have that exam at that critical age.
Where should they go? I mean, I really think there are probably a lot of parents out there maybe watching today who wouldn't even know how to find an optometrist.
So we'll talk about the 3 O's. You know, there's an optician, and that's the guy who makes the glasses. There's an optometrist, which I am, which is the doctor who can prescribe glasses, contact lenses, and also medications. And then there's the ophthalmologist, who's generally the doctor who does cataract surgery and surgery. So, but I would take them to either a board-certified optometrist or an ophthalmologist.
Those ones that you see in the stores all over the place that are advertising the glasses and all that, are those all board certified?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they all generally do a great job, and what we're looking to do is the essential components of an eye exam, not a screening, to pick up these children that have problems. And I think whether it's a discounter or a independent doctor, I think they're all going to do the same job.
Great. And so what do you find out? What happens if I take my child in? I know I did, and my daughter has a problem with distance. It hasn't really affected her reading, but she couldn't see the board. She's 8 now, but we found it when she was about 5. They said she had an astigmatism and she couldn't really see the board. So what happens when that happens?
And so that's a great clinical question, as a matter of fact, that you ask, because children don't have the same visual demands that an adult does. They don't drive a car. They don't have to see very far signs. Their world is closer, and depending on their age, you want to know whether you're going to prescribe or not. I'm not an over-prescriber, so I believe that if a child sees 20/40, if they're 5 years of age, I think that that's acceptable. And each child it's different for each child, and you look at it on a one-by-one basis. But that's a very good point. If a child's 15 and getting closer to driving, yes, you want them to be able to see 20/20. One of the things you don't want to do is overprescribe just because they have a prescription, because we all have a prescription. But whether it's clinically significant enough to warrant giving glasses, that's the most important part. So.
And for that, so how is it a barrier to reading?
Well, of course, we always say that you have to have good vision to read, but we know, of course, that that's not true because you mentioned Braille and other things. So, 80% of what we see, we learn. So if you can't see, you still can learn. So you don't want to say you can't, but it's a barrier. And I think it's important that you're able to see and determine that. But again, we were talking about 20/20. And I know doctors that say 20/20 is not enough. And the reason they say 20/20 is not enough is because it's not. It's not a matter of seeing 20/20. It's a matter of how we track what we see. It's a matter of how we focus, how our eyes look when we look far away to close up. It's integrating the whole system together. And if there's one eye that sees 20/20 and the other eye doesn't, well, then one eye's working harder, and you lose depth perception, and you lose other features. And so it's all important.
And so this mobile unit that you have, how do you use that to help people?
Unfortunately, there are children born to certain circumstances. They don't qualify for insurance. They never get insurance. Their parents don't have the funds. And so my wife and I started a charity called Seeing the World. And this charity, we built a 30-foot RV that's a fully contained unit that will bring out to a facility at the request of whoever is in need and provide thorough eye examinations and brand new glasses to the children right there on the spot. It's truly a one-stop shop. And one of the reasons that we've done that is because, accessing the care is very important. So if you go out and you do an exam and you don't provide the glasses or the follow-up care, then you're just identifying the problem. You're not solving it. So what we've done is we bring it all, included it all in one. So a doctor comes out on the unit. I'm a volunteer optometrist for the unit as well as the bus driver. And the unit will pull up, and it will stay there as long as it needs to be there to help as many children that need to be tested. As long as they don't have any type of insurance or Medicaid, we see everyone ages 3 to 18.